Free Wi-Fi isn't a perk. It's a tracking device disguised as a courtesy. The moment you walk in, your phone starts broadcasting a signal that can identify and track you. Not even because you connected to anything, but just because you walked in with it turned on. You just came in to try on a sweater. It's not tracking that you're here. It's tracking where you go while you're here. This isn't a rogue app or a shady website. This is standard practice at some of the biggest retailers in the country. And most of it traces back to 2 words on a window decal: free Wi-Fi. Most phones, by default, don't wait for you to connect to anything. They're built to actively search for nearby networks, constantly, whether you're using the phone or not. That's true across iPhones, Android phones, Samsung, all of them. Every time your phone does this, it broadcasts something called a MAC address, short for Media Access Control. It's a 12-character unique identifier for your device's network hardware and acts like a digital fingerprint. On its own, that number can single you out from everyone else with a phone in the store. Apple and Google both knew this was happening. So, starting with iOS 14 in 2020 and Android 10 the year before, both companies significantly strengthened a privacy feature that hides that real, permanent number behind a randomized one instead, specifically to stop this kind of tracking. That fix is real, and it does work, but across separate visits. Within a single visit, that protection has limits. It only works when the randomized address actually refreshes. In between refreshes, your phone holds the same address, long enough to be followed around the store, at least for a while. And the moment you connect to the store's network, the refreshing stops entirely. A phone can't change its address in the middle of an active connection, which means a store's sensors can watch that one signal move in real time for as long as you stay on their network. And that signal range starts before you even walk in. The same sensors built to trace your path through the store are also built to detect phone signals from the sidewalk or parking lot outside. So a store can measure exactly what percentage of people walking past actually come in. Then it tracks you through the store, to the women's outerwear aisle, into a fitting room for 6 minutes, over to the shoe section for another 10, up to the register if you're making a purchase, or straight out the door if you decided otherwise. So a store can't easily tell that Tuesday's visitor and Thursday's visitor are the same person. But within one visit, it can often trace where somebody went and how long they stood there. That protection disappears completely the moment you connect to the free Wi-Fi or log into the store app. We'll get back to that later. Nordstrom quietly began tracking customer movement through in-store Wi-Fi sensors in the fall of 2012, using a company called Euclid Analytics. The sensors picked up phone signals from people browsing the aisles, whether or not they ever joined the Wi-Fi network. At the time, Euclid Analytics had already tracked roughly 50 million devices across 4,000 locations for around 100 retail clients. Nordstrom wasn't an outlier. It was just one participant in an industry already operating at scale. Nordstrom did post small signs near store entrances disclosing the practice. But once customers actually noticed the signs and realized what they meant, the complaints came fast. By May of 2013, Nordstrom ended the test entirely. Phil's Coffee did something similar around the same time. Same outcome. Public pressure, then a shutdown. Those 2 cases matter for one reason. They confirm the tracking works exactly the way privacy researchers described it, and it ran for months before customers ever pushed back. So if 2 companies got caught and stopped, does that mean the problem went away? Not even close. It just got quieter. Euclid Analytics didn't shut down. The company kept growing for 6 more years, and by 2019 it had tracked over 100 million devices across 10,000 locations, more than double what it had during the Nordstrom test. That year, WeWork acquired it and shifted its focus away from retail entirely, toward tracking people inside offices instead. But the practice they pioneered in stores didn't go away. Companies like Purple Wi-Fi, iLabs, and Cloud4Y run the exact same kind of system in stores today. Passive tracking through your phone's Wi-Fi search only works in the gaps between address refreshes. But as soon as you connect to the Wi-Fi or download a retailer's app for a discount code, those gaps stop mattering entirely. Once you log in with an email, a phone number, or a social account, the store no longer needs your device identifier. It has something better, an identity attached directly to you, one that works across every visit from now on. Macy's app is a clear example. According to reporting from Seattle's KUOW, its privacy policy permits the company to collect biometric data the moment you agree to the terms, the same terms almost nobody actually reads. Combine that with in-store cameras and AI that can match your face across multiple visits, and a retailer isn't just counting foot traffic anymore. It's building a profile. Your face, your walking pattern, your favorite section, tied together into a single file they can reference every time you walk back in. Robert Frederick, CEO of a retail tracking company called Circle, said in an interview that the underlying goal of this technology is to figure out how much money a shopper has and how to get them to spend it. All of this feeds into one thing, a profile of you. Not just what you looked at, but how long you looked at it, how often you come back, and how likely you are to pay full price instead of waiting for a sale. This isn't limited to Wi-Fi anymore either. Retailers are now layering in Bluetooth beacons alongside their Wi-Fi sensors, small transmitters placed around the store that talk to their app on your phone, not just your phone's radio. If you've downloaded that retailer's app and left Bluetooth on, the beacons can place you far more precisely than Wi-Fi ever could. Wi-Fi alone can usually only place you within about 30 feet, enough to know you were somewhere in menswear. Bluetooth beacons narrow that down to about 3 feet, precise enough to tell whether you stopped at the suits or the swimwear. Together, they let a retailer build the exact same metrics an online store already has, like time spent on a page, except mapped onto a physical building, down to the shelf. You've probably already seen this in action. The Wi-Fi login screen from earlier isn't built by the store. It usually comes from a third-party vendor that specializes in exactly this kind of shopper tracking. Many of these platforms include a built-in feature to sync captured shopper data straight into Facebook and Instagram, building targeted ad audiences out of people who simply walked into a store and connected to its Wi-Fi. Case studies from these platforms report that ads aimed at these known visitors get 3 to 8 times the return of ads aimed at strangers. So if you've ever browsed a store, then started seeing that exact store's ads all over Instagram a few days later, that's not a coincidence. And that's just what the profile is being used for today. In our surveillance pricing video, we covered how retailers already use data to charge different customers different prices for the same product. Retailers are now rolling out digital shelf labels, already in more than 2,000 Walmart stores, on the way to all 4,600 by the end of the year. That can change a price in seconds. While there's no concrete evidence of this happening in practice yet, it's not hard to imagine. A camera reads your face at the shelf, cross-references it with the profile already built on you, and the digital price tag updates just for you. One grocery retailer, Kroger, has already installed camera-equipped smart shelves in partnership with Microsoft. The company has explicitly denied linking those cameras to pricing, but in 2024, senators sent formal letters asking that exact question, because the cameras, the profiles, and the instantly changeable price tags are all already sitting in real stores today. The only thing that's missing is regulation. Free Wi-Fi was never actually free. You paid for it with your data, and that data is quietly becoming the input for what you pay at checkout. Nordstrom and Philz Coffee prove this system exists, and that it works well enough to be worth the risk of backlash. The only difference today is that most retailers learned not to put up a sign warning you about it. The store didn't plant a tracker on you. You brought your own. All they had to do was put up sensors, offer free Wi-Fi, and wait for you to walk in with the phone you carry everywhere anyway. What happens with that signal now isn't just an ad that follows you home. It might be the price waiting for you the next time you walk back in. If you still want to shop like a normal person, you can't block all of this. But a few specific habits close most of the gap. The most impactful thing you can do is turn Wi-Fi off before you walk into a store, not just avoid connecting. Your phone's radio broadcasts probe signals whether or not you ever join a network, so toggling Wi-Fi off actually matters here. But if you do need to use the Wi-Fi, make sure you check the privacy settings first. On iPhone, look for private Wi-Fi address under the network settings and set it to rotating. On Android, look for a similar setting, usually called randomized MAC or privacy, under the network's advanced options. And skip the social login. Don't hand over your Facebook or Google account just to get online for 5 minutes. If you've also downloaded that retailer's app, you may want to turn Bluetooth off as well. Beacon tracking only works through the app listening for those signals, so without Bluetooth on, the app has nothing to detect. And before you download a retailer's app for that one-time 10% off discount, actually check what it's asking for. If a coupon code wants access to your camera, your location at all times, or your contacts, that's not a discount. That's a trade. Have you ever browsed a store, then started seeing that exact store's ads all over your Instagram a few days later? Tell me in the comments, and let me know if you had any idea it might have been because you connected to their Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi was the easy part to accept. Most of what happens to your data next, who buys it, who sells it, who profits from it, never comes with an accept button at all. That's worth remembering the next time you see those two words on a window.